Welcome to Beyond the Dark, where we plunge headfirst into the realms of the unexplained, the mysterious, and the extraordinary. I'm your host, Jay Rockwell, and together we'll navigate the shadowy corridors of ufology, explore the world of cryptids, and venture into the cosmic unknown. From extraterrestrial encounters to the secrets of the paranormal, we leave no stone unturned. Join me as we embark on a journey that transcends the boundaries of reality. Hey everybody, Jay Rockwell here, another episode of Beyond the Dark. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone had a great weekend. It is the week of August 19th, 2024. Yes. Last episode we discussed Black-Eyed Children. Didn't really receive any outstanding correspondence or any stories or anything on that, so nothing to really share, but we have a new topic coming up tonight, and I'm hoping that it captures your attention like it did mine. We're going to be talking about the WOW signal. Yes, that's right. And actually, the WOW signal anniversary was just the other day. I believe it was August 15th, 1977 that it happened. But that's when we got the mysterious signal at the Ohio State University. That's right. Go Buckeyes. But anyways, we're going to dive into that. But first, what we're going to do is cover the news. And here's what we got. Hey everyone, buckle up because we've got some exciting news coming straight out of Namibia. A group of paleontologists from around the world has just made a jaw-dropping discovery, a fossilized giant basal tetrapod. Now, I know, basal tetrapod might sound like some fancy science lingo, but stick with me here. I'm going to break it down. So, what exactly is a basal tetrapod? Imagine one of the earliest four-legged creatures to crawl out of the water and onto land about 280 million years ago. These guys are like the great-great-grandparents of pretty much all animals you see today, including us humans. The fossil, which is a whopping 3 meters long, that's almost 10 feet, was found in Namibia's Ugab River Valley, and it belongs to a brand new species they've named Gyaja geniae. Here's where things get really interesting. Until now, scientists thought that these early four-legged creatures were only hanging out in the northern hemisphere, but the discovery in Namibia totally flips that theory on its head. It means these early land dwellers were also thriving way down south on the ancient supercontinent known as Gondwana. Gondwana was like Earth's megacontinent, which eventually split into places like Africa, South America, and Antarctica. The fossil was found in some ancient mudstone, which used to be a lake bed millions of years ago. As the animal's body decomposed, it created a chemical reaction that preserved the bones in a super hard crust, like nature's very own fossil safe. One of the fossil hunters, Sibusiso Tungata, I hope I got that right, from the Aziko Museum, shared how they stumbled upon this ancient giant. He and his team were finding bits and pieces of vertebrae, basically the backbone, and suddenly they hit the jackpot. They found a skull with teeth still intact. You can just imagine the excitement as they pieced together this nearly complete skeleton. The scientists were amazed by what they found. The skull of this creature had huge, backward curved fangs that looked like something out of a horror movie. This wasn't just any tetrapod. It was a full-on predator, likely lurking in the waters to ambush its prey. So why is this such a big deal? Well, according to Professor Claudia Marsicano from the University of Buenos Aires, this discovery suggests that early tetrapods were much more widespread than we ever thought. They weren't just chilling in the northern hemisphere, they were also thriving in what's now Namibia. This challenges a lot of what scientists thought they knew about how these early animals spread and evolved. The fossil has since been moved to Cape Town, where a dedicated team spent 2 years preparing it for study. It's a painstaking process, but it revealed some incredible details, like the unique patterns on the skull and those terrifying fangs we just talked about. Finally, after all that hard work, the fossil is heading back to Namibia. It'll soon be on display at the Geological Museum of Namibia, where you can see this ancient predator for yourself. And there you have it, a discovery that not only gives us a new species, but also rewrites a chapter of evolutionary history. It's a fascinating reminder that there's still so much we don't know about the distant past. Who knows what other surprises are waiting to be unearthed? For about 1 in 100 people, eating even a tiny bit of gluten can lead to some serious stomach pain. Gluten, a protein found in foods like bread, pasta, and baked goods, is the culprit behind this discomfort. But until recently, scientists had a hard time figuring out exactly where and how this intolerance starts. Well, good news! An international team of scientists, led by researchers from McMaster University in Canada, has finally made a breakthrough. By studying specially engineered mice, they've discovered a crucial step in the process that could one day lead to new treatments for gluten intolerance. So, what exactly is going on? Celiac disease is an autoimmune disorder that's triggered when gluten enters the intestines. For people with celiac, eating foods like bread or pasta can cause symptoms like bloating, pain, diarrhea, and even vomiting. The only way to avoid these unpleasant effects right now is to completely eliminate gluten from the diet, which isn't that easy. According to Elena Verdu, a gastroenterologist from McMaster, the only way we can treat celiac disease today is by fully eliminating gluten from the diet, but even that might not be enough. Most people with celiac disease have a specific pair of genes that can create a protein called HLA DQ2.5. Another group has a similar protein called HLA DQ8. These proteins play a key role in the body's immune system by displaying pieces of invaders, like bacteria or viruses, to immune cells, telling them to attack. But here's the catch. For people with these genes, the proteins can mistakenly treat gluten like an enemy. This triggers the immune system to attack the gut, causing all those painful symptoms. However, not everyone with these genes develops celiac disease. For the immune reaction to start, gluten first needs to get through the gut wall, and this is where things get interesting. The cells in the gut release an enzyme that grabs onto the gluten and changes it, making it easier for the immune system to recognize and attack. The research team studied these gut cells up close using models that mimic the human gut. What they found was pretty surprising. The cells lining the gut aren't just innocent bystanders, they're active players in the whole process. They break down gluten, present it to the immune system, and kick off the whole reaction. Understanding this key role of gut cells gives scientists new targets for developing treatments. This could mean that one day people with celiac disease might be able to enjoy a slice of pizza or a croissant without worrying about the painful aftermath. This research was published and can be found in the journal Gastroenterology. So I've got some exciting news that might just blow your mind. NASA's InSight lander has uncovered what could be a massive underground water reservoir on Mars. Imagine that. Hidden beneath the Martian surface, there could be enough water to have once filled entire oceans. So what does this mean? Well, scientists have always wondered what happened to all the water on Mars. You know, the water that carved out those ancient river channels and filled up giant lakes billions of years ago. Many believe that most of it just drifted off into space after Mars lost its atmosphere. But now, Thanks to some clever geophysicists using seismic data, that's like using Mars quakes to peek inside the planet, we've got a new theory. A lot of that water might still be there, trapped deep in the Martian crust. This underground reservoir isn't just a puddle, it's massive. The scientists estimate that if you can spread it out across the entire planet, it could cover Mars to a depth of up to a mile. Let that sink in. But here's the catch. This water isn't exactly easy to reach. It's buried way down, about 7 to 12 miles below the surface, locked up in tiny cracks and pores within the rocks. So, if you were hoping for an easy way to get water for future Martian settlers, this might not be it. However, this discovery does give us a new spot to look for life. Yep, you heard that right. Where there's water, there might be life. On Earth, we found life thriving in the most extreme places, like deep underground or at the bottom of the ocean. So who's to say there couldn't be some hardy little Martian microbes living down there? This find also helps scientists understand Mars's history a little bit better. By figuring out where all the water went, we can learn more about what the climate was like billions of years ago and how Mars changed over time. The InSight mission, which started in 2018, has already given us a treasure trove of info about Mars's insides, like the thickness of its crust, the size of its core, and even details about its mantle. All thanks to the seismic waves from Mars quakes and meteor impacts. Sadly, the mission wrapped up in 2022, but the data it sent back is still keeping scientists busy. So, while we haven't found little green men, or microbes, on Mars yet, this underground ocean is a promising clue that the red planet might still have some secrets to share. Stay tuned, because the search for life on Mars just got a whole lot more interesting. And those are your news bits for the week of August 19th, 2024. I'm your host, Jay Rockwell, and you are listening to Beyond the Dark. If you're only here for the meat and potatoes, now's your time. Get us back in tune, turn us up, get us going. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're talking all about the WOW signal from 1977 at The Ohio State University. If you're looking to get your music featured live for free, please hit me up at beyondthedarkradio@outlook.com, and we can go ahead and get that going. Right now, everything that we get is from mixkit.co, so I got to give them their shout-outs. If you're looking for royalty-free music or sound effects, please head over to mixkit.co and tell them Jay sent you. I'll check you guys back here in just a moment. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Dark, where we dive deep into the mysteries that continue to baffle humanity. I'm Jay Rockwell, your guide on this journey into the unknown. Tonight, we've got something really special lined up for you. Something that has puzzled scientists and sparked the imaginations of many for decades. The WOW signal. For those of you who might not be familiar, the WOW signal is one of the most intriguing mysteries in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Detected back in 1977 by a radio telescope at Ohio State University, the signal was unlike anything that had been picked up before, or since. It was so unusual that the astronomer who discovered it, Jerry Amen, famously wrote "Wow" in the margins of the printout, giving this signal its unforgettable name. But what exactly was the WOW signal? Was it a message from an alien civilization trying to make contact? Or could it have been a bizarre natural phenomenon? Despite countless attempts to explain it, no definitive answer has been found, which is what makes it so captivating. In tonight's episode, we're going to break down the story of the WOW signal, discuss what it might have been, and explore why it continues to be a topic of fascination all these years later. So, buckle up as we venture into this cosmic mystery. We'll start by digging into the events of that night in 1977, then move on to various theories that have been proposed over the years, and finally, we'll ponder what this signal means for our ongoing search for life beyond Earth. Alright, let's dive into the backstory that sets the stage for the WOW signal, starting with SETI, or the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. Now, back in the 70s, the idea of actively searching for signals from alien civilizations was still in its relative infancy, but it was fueled by the optimism and curiosity of the space age. The mission of SETI during this time was pretty straightforward. Scan the skies for any signals that might be of intelligent origin, signals that wouldn't naturally occur from known cosmic sources like stars or galaxies. To do this, they relied on powerful radio telescopes to listen to the cosmos, and one of the key players in this mission was the Big Ear radio telescope at Ohio State University. Big Ear was massive, essentially two huge metal sheets with a tiltable flat reflector. It wasn't much to look at, but it was incredibly effective at sweeping vast areas of the sky, listening for anything out of the ordinary. The telescope had been used for various radio astronomy projects, but by the mid-70s, it was mainly dedicated to SETI research. Now, let's fast forward to the evening of August 15th, 1977. It was a night like any other in the world of SETI. A lot of data being collected, mostly just the usual cosmic noise. But then, something remarkable happened. A volunteer astronomer named Jerry R. Amen was reviewing the data a few days later when he spotted something that nearly made him fall out of his chair. On the printout from the Big Ear's computer, there was a sudden, intense signal that stood out against the background noise like a flare in the night sky. This wasn't just some faint blip. This was a strong, continuous signal lasting for 72 seconds. Amen was so taken aback by the signal's clarity and intensity that he circled it on the printout and scribbled "Wow" in the margin. That single word perfectly captured the sheer astonishment and excitement of the moment. And that's how the WOW signal got its name, a name that has echoed through the halls of SETI history ever since. But what exactly made this signal so special? For one, it was narrowband, meaning it was confined to a very specific frequency, 1420 megahertz, which is significant because it's the natural emission frequency of hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe. This frequency is often thought to be an ideal cosmic Halen frequency that an advanced civilization might use to make contact. The signal was also much stronger than any typical background noise Big Ear had detected before. All of this combined to make the WOW signal not just another blip in the data, but a genuine anomaly that had to be taken seriously. This discovery was nothing short of extraordinary, especially considering the context of SETI's mission during the 70s. SETI was, and still is, a project driven by the hope that humanity is not alone in the universe. a hope that a signal from the stars might one day confirm. The wow signal, with its precise frequency and undeniable strength, was the closest thing to that hope being realized. It represented the possibility, however slim, that somewhere out there, an intelligent civilization might be trying to reach out. Despite countless attempts to find the signal again, it's never been detected since. This has only deepened the mystery, leaving us with more questions than answers. Was it really a message from another civilization? Or was it just an oddball event with a more mundane explanation? These questions have kept the WOW signal alive in the minds of scientists and enthusiasts alike, turning it into one of the greatest mysteries in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. As we move forward, we'll delve into the various theories surrounding the WOW signal, exploring everything from natural phenomena to the possibility of alien contact. But before we get there, it's crucial to appreciate just how groundbreaking this discovery was, not just for SETI, but for the entire field of radio astronomy. The WOW signal was a moment when the vastness of the universe seemed to shrink, bringing the possibility of contact with the unknown tantalizingly close. Now that we've covered the discovery of the WOW signal, let's get into the nitty-gritty details, the kind of stuff that really highlights why this signal has captivated scientists for decades. First up is the frequency of the signal, 1420 megahertz, or 1420, however you want to say it. Either way, it probably just sounds like another number, right? But in the world of radio astronomy, it's anything but ordinary. This frequency is known as the hydrogen line, which is the radio frequency emitted by neutral hydrogen atoms in space. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, so this particular frequency is like the universal language of the cosmos. It's present everywhere, and thus easily recognizable to any advanced civilization. That's why many scientists believe that if extraterrestrial beings were trying to communicate with us, they might use this frequency, knowing it's one we would likely be listening to. The significance of the hydrogen line cannot be overstated. It's a universal constant, a frequency that any technologically advanced society with an understanding of radio astronomy would be aware of. By broadcasting a signal at 1420 megahertz, an extraterrestrial civilization would be essentially waving a cosmic flag saying, "We know this is a frequency you'll be monitoring." This is why the WOW signal's alignment with this frequency is so intriguing. If someone or something out there were trying to get our attention, this would be the frequency to do it on. The WOW signal was not just a brief blip. It lasted for a full 72 seconds. That might not seem like a long time, but in radio astronomy, it's significant. This duration corresponds to the time it took for the Big Ear telescope to scan across the source of the signal. What's interesting is that the signal followed the expected pattern. It rose in strength as the telescope moved across it, peaked when the telescope was pointed directly at it, and then gradually faded as the telescope moved away. This suggests that the source of the signal was not local, like a passing satellite, but rather something far away, possibly even deep in space. The structured rise and fall in intensity are key here, people. If the signal were from a nearby source, like a satellite or aircraft, the pattern would likely have been irregular, showing fluctuations as the signal bounced off various surfaces or passed through different atmospheric layers. Instead, the WOW signal's smooth arc strongly indicates it was coming from a single, distant point in space. This consistency is one of the aspects that make the WOW signal so convincing as a potential extraterrestrial transmission. It behaved exactly as one would expect if it were coming from a far-off, stable source. Speaking of strength, the WOW signal was powerful. It had an intensity about 30 times stronger than the typical background noise. In technical terms, it registered as a 6EQUJ5 on the printout, with a 6 representing the signal-to-noise ratio and U marking the peak intensity. This level of strength was one of the reasons Jerry Amon was so stunned by it. This wasn't just some weak, ambiguous signal, but something that stood out clearly from the background noise. To put this in perspective, most of the signals detected in radio astronomy are barely distinguishable from the noise. They require complex processing and analysis just to identify, let alone understand. The WOW signal, however, was clear and strong, cutting through the background like a beacon. The 6EQUJ5 code, while cryptic to the untrained eye, told astronomers that this was a signal worth paying attention to. The combination of strength, clarity, and frequency made it a textbook example of what SETI researchers had been hoping to find. A signal that couldn't be easily explained away as a natural or man-made phenomenon. So why is this combination of frequency, duration, and strength so important? Well, it's because these characteristics align perfectly with what SETI researchers hope to find: a strong, narrow band signal at a significant frequency like 1420 megahertz, coming from a specific point in the sky and lasting long enough to be detected by our equipment. The WOW signal ticked all these boxes, making it a prime candidate for extraterrestrial communication. But here's where the mystery deepens. Despite numerous attempts to detect the signal again, it's never been found. Scientists have pointed their telescopes at the same region of the sky over and over, but the WOW signal remains a one-time event. This has led to a lot of speculation. Some believe it was indeed a message from an alien civilization sent out as a one-off attempt to make contact. Others think it might have been a natural phenomenon, something we don't yet understand, but that happened to occur just once, in just the right way to produce the signal. The uniqueness of the WOW signal is both its charm and its curse. On one hand, it's tantalizing. Just imagine if it really was an alien message. On the other hand, the fact that it's never been repeated makes it incredibly difficult to study or confirm. Without a repeat, scientists are left in the frustrating position of knowing something extraordinary happened, but not being able to fully explain or verify it. This lack of repeat detection has led to various theories, which we'll get into in the next segment. But before we do, it's important to remember just how rare and unique this signal is. In the vast ocean of radio noise from space, the WOW signal was like finding a needle in a haystack. A needle that, for now at least, we've only seen once. Alright, now let's jump into the theories, both the exciting and the mundane, that have been proposed to explain the WOW signal. This is where the story gets interesting as we weigh the possibility of an extraterrestrial origin against a more down-to-earth explanations. First, let's talk about the theory that gets most people's imaginations going. The idea that the WOW signal was a communication attempt by an alien civilization. The fact that the signal came in at 1420 megahertz, the hydrogen line, suggests that if an intelligent species were trying to reach out, they might choose this frequency specifically because it's a universal constant, something any scientifically advanced civilization would recognize. It's almost like sending a message on a universally agreed upon channel, hoping that someone else is listening. In this context, the WOW signal fits the bill. It's narrowband, meaning it was concentrated in a small slice of the radio spectrum, which is exactly what you'd expect from a deliberate transmission rather than a natural source. Narrowband signals are typically used in communication because they allow for a focused and efficient transmission of information without the interference that would occur in broader signals. This characteristic alone makes the WOW signal stand out as a candidate for extraterrestrial communication. It behaves the way we'd expect a purposeful message to behave. The strength and clarity of the signal also support this idea. If someone out there wanted to get our attention, this is how they might do it. A strong signal cutting through the cosmic noise is exactly what you'd expect if an advanced civilization was trying to make contact, ensuring their message didn't get lost in the background hum of the universe. The WOW signal's clear, unmistakable presence on the datasheet speaks to this possibility. But of course, we have to consider the arguments against this theory. The biggest one is the lack of repetition. If an alien civilization was trying to communicate, why would they only send one signal? You'd expect them to send more, or at least to broadcast continuously, so the odds of detection would be higher, right? the one-time nature of the WOW signal is a significant strike against an extraterrestrial hypothesis, making it hard to confirm or study further. It's as if someone knocked on the door and then vanished, leaving us wondering if it really happened at all. Another counterpoint is the direction of the signal. While it was strong and clear, it didn't come from any known star system or planet. If we're thinking about a deliberate attempt at communication, we'd expect it to come from a place where life might exist. Instead, the WOW signal's origin is a bit of a cosmic no man's land, which makes it harder to link to a potential civilization. It's as if the message came from the middle of the ocean with no land in sight, leaving us puzzled as to who could have sent it and why. Now, let's shift gears to more mundane natural explanations. One of the leading theories is that the WOW signal might have been caused by interference from Earth. This could include signals bouncing off satellites, reflections from aircraft, or even equipment malfunction. However, most of these possibilities have been largely ruled out because the signal's characteristics don't match typical Earth origin interference. It was too clean, too isolated in frequency, and too strong for that. Earth-based interference tends to be more chaotic, with variations in frequency and strength that were not present in the WOW signal. Another natural explanation involves astronomical sources, such as comets or stars. A popular theory that emerged years after the signal's discovery suggested that it might have been caused by the hydrogen clouds surrounding a passing comet. Comets emit the 1420 MHz frequency due to the presence of hydrogen, so it seemed like a plausible explanation. However, this theory has its critics. For one, the signal's intensity and narrowband nature don't align with what we'd expect from a comet. Additionally, the exact comet proposed wasn't in the right place at the right time, leading many to dismiss this theory as well. Comets are fascinating celestial objects, but their emissions tend to be more diffuse and spread out over a range of frequencies. The WOW signal's sharp, focused nature doesn't fit with the kind of broad, weak signals typically associated with comets. The timeline mismatch also makes it difficult to accept this theory, as timing is crucial in astronomy. If the comet wasn't in the right spot, it couldn't have been the source. Other astronomical sources, like stars or pulsars, have also been considered, but again, they don't fully explain the signal's characteristics. Most known cosmic sources produce broader signals over a range of frequencies, not the narrow, sharp signal that was detected. Pulsars, for example, are known for their regular, repeating signals that would have been easily identifiable. The WOW signal's one-time occurrence and specific frequency don't align with these known phenomena, which has led to their dismissal as likely candidates. Despite all these theories, what we're left with is frustrating lack of definitive evidence. None of the explanations, whether natural or extraterrestrial, fit perfectly. We've got bits and pieces of possible answers, but nothing that ties everything together neatly. This is the ultimate challenge with the WOW signal. It remains an enigma, defying easy categorization or explanation. It's as if we have a puzzle with pieces from different boxes. Some fit, but the picture remains incomplete. So where does that leave us? Essentially, still searching. The WOW signal stands as a tantalizing mystery, one that could be a clue to something much larger, or simply an unsolved riddle of the cosmos. Until we find more data or detect something similar, we may never know for sure what caused it. The search continues, driven by the hope that someday we might get another signal, one that can confirm, explain, or even expand upon what the WOW signal hinted at so many decades ago. Now, let's talk about how the WOW signal has made its mark far beyond the realm of science. Seeping into popular culture and capturing the imagination of people around the world. Even though the signal itself remains a mystery, its legacy is undeniable, especially in how it has influenced our collective curiosity about the possibility of life beyond Earth. One of the most fascinating aspects of the WOW signal is how it was inspired countless works of fiction. In movies, books, and documentaries, the idea of receiving a mysterious signal from space has become a powerful symbol of the unknown, one that taps into our deepest questions about the universe and our place in it. For example, the 1997 movie Contact, based on the novel by Carl Sagan, explores a similar scenario where humanity detects a message from an extraterrestrial civilization. While not directly based on the WOW signal, the themes of the movie are clearly influenced by real-life events like this one. The idea that a single, fleeting signal could hold the key to answering one of humanity's biggest questions, are we alone, is a concept that resonates deeply with audiences. Contact is just one example, but it reflects a broader trend in science fiction where the idea of a lone signal from the stars serves as a catalyst for stories that explore humanity's place in the universe. The WOW signal embodies the very essence of this concept, a brief, enigmatic moment that challenges our understanding and invites us to dream of what might be out there. It's no wonder that this event has inspired so many narratives where the unknown is a source of both wonder and existential reflection. Books and documentaries have also played a significant role in keeping the WOW signal in the public eye. There are numerous documentaries that delve into the mystery, each presenting the signal as a pivotal moment in the ongoing search for extraterrestrial intelligence. These works often emphasize the sense of wonder and possibility that the WOW signal represents, turning what was essentially a brief anomaly into a symbol of our quest to understand the cosmos. Documentaries, in particular, have a unique way of bringing the WOW signal to life for audiences who might not be familiar with the details. By combining expert interviews, dramatizations, and visual effects, these films turn into a scientific event into a narrative experience, making it accessible and engaging for a wide audience. The WOW signal in these contexts is often portrayed as a beacon, a signal from the unknown that continues to challenge and inspire those who hear about it. Beyond specific references, the WOW signal has also influenced public perception of the search for extraterrestrial life in a broader sense. It's a perfect example of how something as abstract as a radio signal can become a cultural touchstone. For many people, the WOW signal represents the possibility that we're not alone, that there might be other intelligent beings out there trying to reach us. This has fueled interest in SETI and similar initiatives, making the search for extraterrestrial life a topic that people can get excited about, even if they don't fully understand the technical details. This cultural impact extends beyond the realms of science fiction and into the mainstream consciousness. The WOW signal has become a shorthand for the mystery of the cosmos, a representation of the unknown that continues to captivate our imaginations. It's been referenced in everything from casual conversations to academic discussions, often cited as an example of the unexplained phenomena that keep our curiosity alive. One of the most interesting things about the WOW signal's impact is how it continues to inspire new generations. Whether it's through references in science fiction, mentions in podcasts and YouTube videos, or its inclusion in academic discussions, the WOW signal remains a touchstone for those interested in the unknown. It's a reminder that sometimes the mysteries we can't solve are the ones that capture our imagination the most. Even decades after its detection, the WOW signal still pops up in discussions about the possibility of alien life, often cited as one of the most compelling pieces of evidence, even if that evidence is, as of yet, inconclusive. In this way, the WOW signal serves as both a scientific curiosity and a cultural icon. It stands at the intersection of science and imagination, where hard data meets the human desire to explore and understand the universe. This dual role, both as a mystery of the cosmos and as a symbol of our collective longing to connect with the unknown, ensures that the WOW signal will continue to resonate with people for years to come. The WOW signal's influence on culture also speaks to a larger theme, our unending quest to understand our place in the universe. Whether or not the signal was of extraterrestrial origin, it has undeniably succeeded in igniting the imaginations of countless individuals, including my own. This cultural legacy may, in fact, be the most enduring aspect of the WOW signal. Proof that sometimes the questions themselves can be just as important as the answers. As we wrap up tonight's episode, let's take a moment to recap the journey we've been on. We started with the discovery of the WOW signal, that mysterious 72-second blip that left scientists and enthusiasts alike scratching their heads. We dove into the technical details, the 1420 megahertz frequency, the duration, the strength, and explored why this signal has been such a significant piece of the puzzle in the search for extraterrestrial life. We then waded through the various theories, from the possibility of alien communication to the more mundane explanations like Earth origin interference or astronomical phenomena. And finally, we touched on how the WOW signal has made its mark on popular culture, becoming a symbol of the unknown and inspiring countless stories, theories, and discussions. Before we close out tonight's episode, I want to take a moment to open up the floor to you, our listeners. One of the best parts of hosting BTD is hearing from all of you, your thoughts, your theories, and your questions. The WOW signal is a mystery that has intrigued so many people over the years, and I'm sure some of you have your own ideas about what it could have been. So, here's your chance to join the conversation. I'd love to hear what you think about the WOW signal. Do you believe it was a message from another civilization? Or do you have a theory that we didn't cover in tonight's episode? Maybe you've got a question about something we discussed, or there's an angle you think we should explore further. You can reach out to us on our social media channels. I'm always checking for your comments and messages. If you're more into email, feel free to send me your thoughts that way too, at beyondthedarkradio@outlook.com. That's beyondthedarkradio@outlook.com. But if you're feeling really adventurous, you would send in a voice message. Who knows? We might even feature it in an upcoming episode. Your input is what makes this show even better, so please don't be shy. Share your thoughts, ask your questions, and let's keep the discussion going. Whether you're a seasoned skeptic or a true believer, your perspective is valuable, and I can't wait to hear from you. So go ahead, hit us up on social media, drop a comment, send us a message, or an email. The conversation doesn't have to end here, and who knows, your theory might be the one that cracks the mystery wide open. Personally, I find the WOW signal to be one of those mysteries that really embodies the wonder of scientific exploration. It's a reminder that the universe is vast and full of surprises, and that even in our modern age, there are still things out there that we can't fully explain. Do I think the WOW signal was an alien message? Well, I like to keep an open mind. The evidence isn't definitive, but the sheer possibility is enough to spark the imagination, yeah? Whether it was a one-off message from a distant civilization or a cosmic fluke, it serves as a powerful symbol of our quest to connect with something beyond our world. But hey, those are just my thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think. Do you have your own theories about the WOW signal? Do you believe it was a message from another civilization, or are you leaning towards the natural explanation? Maybe you've got a completely different idea. Either way, reach out and let us know your thoughts, and we could talk about it on a future episode. And speaking of future episodes, next time right here on Beyond the Dark, we'll be diving into another fascinating mystery, the disappearance of Flight 19. This one is packed with intrigue from vanished planes to the Bermuda Triangle, and I cannot wait to explore it with you. So, thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep looking up, keep questioning, and remember, the truth is out there, somewhere beyond the dark.